Hey folks, this lesson is on geometry. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So here's our formulas. They give you some generic formulas right there. Let's find this. So it says this side equals this side right there, and it says BC is the square root of 2, which means this is the square root of 2, and this is 2 right there, which means this is 2. So that's 1 and that's 1. All right, let's put this together right there. The area of a parallelogram is just base times height. Okay, so I needed to get this height right there, so I got a little right triangle right there. Okay, so 1 squared plus h squared equals root 2 squared. Okay, subtract 1, h squared equals 1, so the height is 1 also. So here it is, base times height is 2 times 1, or choice A. All right, what's the area of the circle whose circumference is 10 pi? Circumference is 2 pi r, so r is 5, and we divide both sides by 2 pi. So the area is pi r squared, so we get 25 pi, choice D, okay? The base of a rectangular solid is a square with side of 25 feet. If the height of the rectangular solid is 5, what's the volume? Okay, so here's my square with the sides 3 by 3 right there, and here's the height. So volume is length times width times height, so 3 times 3 times 5 is 45. Okay, choice C. All right, so the cylinder shown has a base of 25 square feet. So what's the volume? Okay, so base times height is the volume. So the base is 25 square, or 25 pi, and then times 12. So 300. And I don't know if they let you use a calculator. So here's 12, 10 plus 2. 25 times 10 is 250. 25 times 2 is 500. When you add those together, you get 300 pi, so choice E. If each edge of a cube is doubled, then the volume of the cube is multiplied by a factor of, okay, so let's just put in real numbers, okay? So the volume of this is 1 times 1 times 1. The volume of this is 2 times 2 times 2. It's doubled, so the volume is 8 times as much, so choice E. Okay? All right, in the picture above, the perimeter of the starfish is 30. The original picture is to be enlarged in both dimensions so that it has a similar or of the original picture. Okay, so if the area is the scale factor. Do you remember scale factor from similar figures? Is enlarged 9 times, so it's the scale factor squared, and the scale factor is same as the ratio of the perimeters. All right, so let's see. What's the perimeter of the centimeters of the starfish of the enlarged image? Okay, so similar means scale factor. Okay, so the perimeter is just the same as the scale factor. The scale factor is a ratio. The area is your scale factor squared. So if the area is 9 times as large, here's the original 1, the other one is 9, so there's our scale factor squared. So the scale factor is the square root of 1, which is 9, 1, and the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, so then we have our proportion. Our scale factor is the same as the perimeters right there. So here's our scale factor, 1 to 3 equals 30 to the new guy right there, so cross multiply and we get 90. Okay, tricky one right there. An automatic ice cream scoop serves spherical helpings of ice cream. The scoop can adjust the servings from 1 inch in diameter to 2 inches in diameter. So if Tim orders a scoop with a 2-inch diameter scoop and Paul wants only half as much, which means half the volume, what should the diameter in inches of the scoop of Paul's helping be? Okay, this should be a pi, the symbol pi. I don't know where they got that P from right there. Okay. Anyway, so 2 inches in diameter means a 1-inch radius. So Tim's is going to be 4/3 pi times 1 cubed, which is just 4/3 pi. Paul is half of that, so when you divide that by 2, it's 2/3 pi. So the volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. I forgot to put a little multiplication symbol in there. Let me do that right there. Pi r cubed right there. Okay, and then that equals 2/3 pi. That's what Paul's thing is right there. Okay, multiply both sides by 3 and divide by the pi. We get 4r cubed equals 2, so r cubed equals 1/2. So r is the cube root of 1/2. Okay, now be careful. It says what should be the diameter of Paul's helping. So this is the radius, so we multiply that by 2 and we get that goofy looking thing right there. Okay. All right, so here in the figure above, it consists of semicircles. The semicircle on top, half a circle, and the square on bottom. And the side of the square is 12, so 12, 12, 12. This is 12, which means the radius is 6 right there. Okay, so the area of a circle is pi r squared, so the area of a half a circle is pi r squared divided by 2. So we get 36 divided by 2 is 18, choice C, 18 pi, okay? All right, so here in the volume, so find the volume of these two rectangular solids. There's a couple ways you can do this. I cut this this way. You can cut it this way also. Okay, so this is 2 times 2 times 6 right there, so the volume is 24. And when we take 2 off the 10, this becomes 8, so 2 times 2 times 8 is 32, so 24 plus 32 is 56, choice B. All right, so the area of the square is 64. So if the area of the square is 64, then the sides have to be 8 times 8, because it's a square. So if this is 8, then this height right here is 8. And so a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 8 times 8 is 32. Okay, so choice E. A stack of 3 cubes of the same size has a volume of 24 cubic inches. Okay, so what is the length in inches of the edge of a cube? Okay, so each cube is x times x times x is the volume, so 3 of them is going to be 3x cubed. Okay, so if it equals 24 divided by 3, it equals 8, so x equals 2. Choice A. Okay. All right, so what's the perimeter? Okay, so I'm going to put an x right there and x right there because it's 2x going across. So if this is x, then this is x right there. And if it's 3x going down, there's x, this has to be x right there. So they all add up to 12x right there. Okay, whoops, let's go back here. So in the figure, John's barn is 200 miles due, or 200 yards due north. And his tractor is 300 yards due east. How many yards must he walk to go from his tractor to his barn? Okay, this is a Pythagorean theorem. This one squared plus this one squared equals x squared, so we get 13,000 right there. 130,000, which is 13 times 10,000. 10,000, you guys, is 100 times 100, so the square root of 10,000 is just 100. Okay, so this is a 100 root 13, so choice C right there. Okay, I don't know if they let you use a calculator on that or not. All right, so the longer sides of a right triangle are 7 and 9. The longest side is always the hypotenuse, so that has to be 9. So if that's 7, using the Pythagorean theorem, I get 4 root 2. Okay, you get 32 when you subtract 49 from both sides. All right, and 32 is 5 2's, and then so these 2 2's on the inside brings 1 out. These 2 2's on the inside brings that one out. Multiply them, you get 4 root 2, okay? Or you can recognize this is 16 times 2. Square root of 16 is 4. Whatever, okay? All right, Pythagorean theorem, okay? So Pythagorean theorem, root 6 squared is 6. When you subtract, you get 19, so it's the square root of 19, choice B, okay? All right, so here, whoops, I forgot to copy a picture right here. Okay, so they told us that this side is parallel to this side right here. Well, that means these corresponding angles are congruent. And when I separate up these triangles, they're similar by angle-angle similarity, which just means we can do a proportion. This side over this side, the corresponding side, equals this side over this side, the corresponding side. That's what I have right there. Cross multiply. We get choice E, okay? Let's try another one here. Okay, which of the following figures are congruent? Well, it's easy. These two guys are congruent. If I took this guy and rotated it, can you see this guy looking just like that dude over there? Okay, so there it are. So there they are. So these two are the congruent ones, 2 and 4. So choice E. All right, let's try this one and we'll stop right here. So these triangles in the figure are similar. That means this side over the corresponding side equals this side over the corresponding side. That's what we're looking for. So let that be x and cross multiply and solve. All right, I'm going to stop there. Take care.